Well, here we are, back to DC Coast to Coast, Boom Chang Records, Cooking in the Kitchen program. I don't know why they've stopped actually, but some lovely music going on here. Got some old friends. You having a bit of coffee, guys?
Just having some coffee.
Well, it's a nice windy morning here in the UK, and I've got a few friends in to interview, and we're going to have a bit of a chat. So I'd like to welcome Jim Hornsby, who you've seen before on DC Coast to Coast, and Danny, also known as Donny in the
only amongst my best friends
in the United States,
as he's been interviewed before, which is always fantastic. So, good morning. How are you doing?
Morning, Steve.
You're nice and relaxed.
Nice coffee.
always.
Oh, it's always nice to have a cup of coffee, isn't it? Well, I thought it'd be nice to bring you in today, have a little chat, do a little bit of music, and try and get a little bit of history from you, really. I mean, Jim and I go back a little way. I met Jim when I was about 17 in his studio, and he came in with his B-bender and completely confused us. I was thinking, how on earth is he doing that? He had a little trick going on there, but I didn't know how it worked. Anyway, where he's up to, what he's up to now. I mean, a lot of years have gone past since we've did that first ever session.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do, it's gone full circle, really. Hopefully, I'm just starting on the second cycle.
Excellent.
But as you know, because we're involved with Boom Chang these days, we've got the Diesel Therapy Band, which is all things.
Well, that's what I should have mentioned actually. I mean, you're two members of a band called Diesel Therapy, right? When did that start?
Ooh. 10
years ago now.
10 years ago, right?
10 years, amazing.
Yeah. And obviously there's a couple of other members in the band. Do you want to name check?
Yeah, there's Chris Ringer.
Chris, do you want to just come in and say hi? Yeah. Even though you haven't got a mic on, doesn't matter though. Just say hello.
Hello. Nice
Chris is playing lovely bass, double bass when he can, and electric bass as well. And then who else is in the band?
Duncan Tyler.
Come on, Duncan.
Come on, Duncan.
Looks like Duncan's connected to something. I think he's doing his homework or something.
I think he's connected to the national grid.
Is he? he's got something plugged into his ears and he's listening to something. I think he might be doing his homework there, but I'm not sure. So that's Diesel Therapy. That started. How come you's met?
Well, we used to hang out in a music shop in Newcastle on a Saturday morning. I did a bit of teaching in there, and there was gaps. People wouldn't turn up, with being afraid of the night before. Me and Danny would just sit around playing Duane Eddy tunes mostly, but in a sort of bluegrass style.
Right.
Which is probably what we're going to do in a minute.
Right.
And it became more and more often, and then we started to visit each other and play tunes. Then we started to write songs. And then it became like, we'll have to put a band together. Which we did, and then we did the first album, The Turf House, and it just kept rolling on from there.
It's quite interesting. The northeast of England seems to have quite a rootsy type of music about it, doesn't it? We had the Kentucky Cowtippers in yesterday, which are young guys playing bluegrass. Yeah. Now you're saying you connected through bluegrass. I wonder what the connection is there, why it's in the northeast.
Well, I've always had a theory that it was to do with the drone in music, and that kind of music. Like on a 5-string banjo, you've got that little drone string, the G string, which rolls through everything. And I think it's akin to the Celtic, Scots, Irish thing.
Yeah, there's all that Celtic connection.
I really do think that has something to do with it.
It's all there somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And it crosses over from that.
It's like that album, they did a series of albums, The Chieftains, which was used Nashville session players, and they played on it. It was quite an interesting joining up. Although you can't play along with it because the pipes must be slightly sharp to everything, which is quite a neat trick, really.
Well, the pipes are never in tune, I don't think, but there we go. Well, do you want to start off with a tune this morning?
Let's do, what do you fancy?
Let's do a little bit of The Heel.
The Heel, right. This is one of Danny's tunes.
Oh,
this
excellent.
is The Heel.
Look forward to hearing that.
2, 3.
pretty fancy. That sounded fantastic. That's lovely. So, how did you get into guitar, Danny?
Oh, accidentally when I think it was 7 years old, something like that. My parents obviously stuck for a Christmas present, so there's this battered up old acoustic guitar turned up.
Yeah.
With strings like cheese wire and all that. But anyway, somehow managed to get a few tunes out of that. And
Well done. And good on the parents
and then,
being stuck for an instrument. I mean, that
yeah,
sounded
that was
fantastic
it.
what you just played there.
And then somehow discovered this old Duane Eddy record in the cupboard, and that
Not
was
another
it.
Duane Eddy fan.
it
All
was-
All
it was-
roads lead to
it
Duane
was-
Eddy at the
it
moment.
was,
yeah.
So the twangy guitar and silky strings and twangy guitars from
Twangy guitar, silky
So
strings.
there I was, I
that
don't know,
great, yeah.
trying to pick out Bally High and Moon River and all those sorts of things. That sort of.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, Duane Eddy, that leads us on to the next subject, I guess. I mean, obviously you're doing a lot of that kind of music. And have you been in touch, or is anything doing that? Or?
Well, the strange cycle of events, really, wasn't it? We've always referenced Duane Eddy in the articles, on the website and stuff. And we're not a tribute band, and we don't actually do any of his tunes, but we use his sound.
It's an influence thing,
Yeah,
isn't
it's an influence, yeah. Danny often, he's got a Dan Electro 6-string, and we've got the Gretsch.
Yeah.
And certain songs that really add something to the song, because there was a great production thing on the old Duane Eddy records. Lee Hazelwood was involved with that. And
But a lot of that comes from the source sound. It's capturing that source sound, isn't
Yeah.
it? So it was obviously original.
Yeah.
well, we
right.
saw him, Duane Eddy, and he was using Richard Hawley's band. We saw him at the Sage,
Sage, yeah,
a couple of years
correct,
ago.
yeah.
It's fantastic sound, just that. I mean, I had never seen him before. I've always loved the records. And, I was just like a little kid, So we went down the front row and, yeah, more. And Danny was even worse than me, was actually photographing his effects pedals.
Oh, really? Were you getting all the details and the nitty-gritty of what goes on to generate that sound?
Now I'm just adopting a Duane Eddy pose here as we speak.
That's what it is.
So, and of course, to follow on from that was, we got this song on the new CD, Village Green. And we used the introduction from Movin' and Groovin', which is his first big hit, I think, in this country.
Right.
And a friend of mine is in touch with the family, the Duane Eddy's family, because he's been a lifelong, Jack Walton, and he got in touch, because we started to feel a bit like we should have some kind of permission to use this stuff.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
he got in touch, and fantastically and unbelievably, they liked the stuff, and they sort of sent us a nice email back saying that Duane Eddy liked the stuff. He particularly liked what we're doing, and he loved the atmosphere on the Boom Chang video for the One More Time song that we did, and give us permission, really, didn't he? Just
well, it's nice, if you're doing something where you're taking somebody else's material, just to get that acknowledgement. And it must be great for you as fans
amazing.
to have some sort of response from the the horse's mouth.
Absolutely.
Almost sort of.
I'm very generous of him. I didn't have to.
Yeah. And of course, it doesn't matter what question anybody asks me now, I just say Duane Eddy.
Well, I think it's quite interesting. I mean, for you to come together through that independent connection. I mean, he's brought you together to make your music.
Well, he had this album called Twang a Country Song, and that was like a pivotal album for me, final. And it had, I think it was Buddy Emmons playing pedal steel on it, if I remember right. And it's just such a great album,
Yeah.
And I went from there, from Duane Eddy to Chet Atkins, and then right through the whole thing,
So you've gone through the whole backbone of the country scene.
Yeah.
And, I mean, country's your passion, isn't it?
Well, it has been in the past. I think I'm a little bit more eclectic. It's a sort of, it's not so Western these days. Country covers a lot of stuff. You've got it's roots. They call it roots music now.
Yeah.
And I just like real stuff that comes from. I like Cajun music, for instance.
Yeah.
And
like
Danny likes Western
I like
swing.
Cajun food, as you can
Yeah,
see.
me too.
But,
And I love Cajun music. And I like Western swing and all the spin-offs, Chip Taylor, people like that, who are writing great songs. I mean, you don't get to hear this stuff, obviously.
you get a lot of music out of 3 chords.
Well, that's what they say, isn't
And there's
it?
a lot of melodies there,
Yeah.
isn't there? Which is there's some beautiful melodies within country music. I mean, I love it. You mentioned pedal steel there. That's
Yeah.
quite a complicated instrument.
Yeah,
Or it looks it.
I had about a 15-year fight with a pedal steel
Did you?
guitar. And I think the danger with pedal steel is I was trying to play it like Buddy Emmons, and really people actually, what the public like is a very much simpler version of pedal steel, you know, the whine and
Yeah.
the slides and that.
I like them harmonically sounds.
Oh, I love that, yeah,
You know,
the
it's
harmonics,
quite
yeah.
distant, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And that goes right back to Slim Whitman, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my mother had Slim Whitman records. You know.
Well, I used to remember playing Slim Whitman tunes when I was a young boy, like, and got into that sort of stuff. So, what do you fancy playing us next? Do you fancy another song?
Yeah, let's do a bit of this. This is a song about a music shop, and there can't be too many of them around.
No.
It's a bit long, so we'll just do a snippet.
Snippet of it, yeah.
2, 3, 4. Maxie shares the music. Maxie shares the love. Maxie shares it up the stairs. There's treasure above. You might play some jazz out there. You might learn a chord. Turn your hand to Dixieland, something you can't afford. Maxie shares the music. Maxie shares the love. Maxie shares us up the stairs. There's treasure up. You can roll a cigarette, maybe drink a beer, maybe play an old guitar, 'cause Maxie doesn't care. Maxie shares the music. Maxie shares the love. Maxie shares us up the stairs. There's treasure up above.
Wow, there you go. Well, that paints a picture, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, that shop was situated in an old covered-in market in the centre of town, which is still there. You know?
Is it?
And the Granger Market.
Yeah.
And it's just a great memory, you know, of a much simpler time. It's
Simpler
black and
time.
white memory, really, I suppose. Yeah.
So that's going to go on the new album, right? And you've had a couple of albums in the past.
Yeah. This is the third album, which we're doing with Boom Chang.
Yeah.
Records.
And is there a theme behind the album, do you think? I mean, you've done that song, Maxie Shares there, that paints a picture to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you reliving some of your past from these songs?
Well,
Or how do you even write songs? How do you go about doing that?
Well, for me, it's the lyrics first. Always the idea,
right.
always the lyrics first. Because I have an idea, and it is from the past. I can only write from experiences. I can't put myself in a situation and pretend to be, you know, like a truck driver or an aeronaut or whatever. Yeah. I can only write from things I've actually experienced. And it took me a long time to get to this point. I've actually being able to write songs and talk about the experiences, because there are so many great songwriters out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to join in and think I can do this.
Yeah, because the quality is quite high.
Yeah, it's
isn't
very
it?
the standard's very high. So I can only write with conviction about what I've actually experienced.
Yeah.
And that Maxi Shares would be an example of that. Was just a place I used to go as a kid
Sure.
that I never forgot. You never forget your first music shop, do you?
No.
Where if they were nice to you,
That's
which
right,
they
yeah.
were,
When
and
you go in
they
there,
let you play
it's-
good guitars.
It's like Aladdin's cave when you
Yeah.
go in your first music shop when you're young, isn't it? And you see all these things that which
You
you don't have the money to buy
No.
it, so it's a dream, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can, because you get to a point where you can actually have a few nice guitars.
Yeah. And it helps you play a little bit better.
It does. That's all it does, really, because there's not that much difference between a £100 guitar and a £1,000 guitar.
Especially if you haven't got the talent, I guess.
Well, you can't substitute. You
Yeah.
can't buy that.
It's the inspiration as well. You look at it and you think, and there's a whole heritage. I mean, a Gretsch guitar, Duane Eddy, all the rest of it. It's
Yeah.
kind of, it inspires you, doesn't it, to
Yeah.
try and emulate the things you've heard other people
Yeah,
do.
you just look at the people you like and you say, right, I'll get the same gear as them,
Yeah.
And then you realise that you can never play like them because they've already done that.
That's right, yeah.
But if you sort of copy enough people and learn from enough people over the years, hopefully you'll get your own little style going on out of that,
Well, that's good. So some other songs on the forthcoming album, I mean, are they all based around history stories? I mean, you say that's how you write. You write on your experience. I mean, what are the songs?
I think it's Jed Grimes mentioned that. I think it must be. There's quite a lot. There's a song on there about Dennis Corson, who was the singer in McGuinness Flint,
Right.
who was like an unsung Geordie hero, if you like, because he went from Benwell and he made hit records, and you never hear Dennis mentioned. Sadly, he died a few years ago. And there's the Maxi Shares song, and what else?
There's a few sort of more fun things in there. Let Your Last Check Bounce, which was just a...
Let Your Last Check Bounce is a Western swing song,
Yeah.
and it was inspired by a friend of mine from Canada who I was just having coffee with him, and
Yeah.
we're not spring chickens anymore, and I was asking him what he was going to do with the time he had left, and he said, my accountant says, Keith, travel and let your last check bounce. And he just gave me that song,
The line, yeah.
that line there, and I said, I'm going to write a song with that title.
Can we hear it now? Just a bit of it.
We could do a bit of it.
It was the idea, wasn't it? And we said, this is a brilliant Western swing song, how come nobody's ever done this before? I said, have you done this before? And it was good. And then kind of we set this, I don't know, daft evening and over a bottle of wine trying to come up with a, the
riff.
the riff, riff that would go with it,
That's how it
Great
works.
fun.
We had the idea. I wrote a few lyrics. Danny had this great guitar riff, and then we harmonised it. And then I thought, this has got legs. So you finish it.
You start developing, you get to the end of it. Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't make
That's it. Well, you've tried it, and then
but we'll play a bit.
go on, then let's hear a bit of that.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You got money in your bank account you don't want the government to know about. Just take it all out.
Take it on out.
Take it all out. Sing up, boys, take it all out. Take it all out. Rather let your last check bounce. Are you singing, Pauline? If you've been stashing your dough away, if you've been saving for a rainy day, just take it all out.
Take it all out.
Take it all out.
Take it all out.
Take it all out. Rather let your last check bounce. If you don't want the revenue to take your cash away, open up your bank account and give it all away. If you've been saving for a brand new car and you know your dough won't stretch that far, just take it all out.
Take it all out.
Take it all out.
Take it all out.
Take it all out. Brother, let your last check bounce. Harmony is the Allman Brothers. Yes, it is. Who played that solo?
When they read your will and testament, let them find out every last penny spent. 'Cause you took it all out.
You took it all out.
You took it all out.
Ah, you took it all out. Quiet in the back.
Took it all out. Brother, let your last check bounce.
Let your last chain bounce.
Very nice. I'm loving that. Like, it just makes me smile like crazy. I tell you what, such a smiley song, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Social media. Are you into that? Do you do that sort of thing? Have you connected with the modern world of?
I thought you were going to say
Connecting with
social
people.
security there for a minute. That's- Yeah, we do that. Danny's a whiz kid, so I'll let him do this section.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can, of course, catch us on dieseltherapy.co.uk, which
Do
is
you
our
want to just
little
talk to the people at home there?
dieseltherapy.co.uk. Yeah, which you can, free downloads and all that, links to Boomchang and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, Twitter, we're big tweeters.
Do you tweet a lot?
Tweet a lot. Yeah. So,
Oh, that's good.
yeah,
I'm not sure I've
Diesel
connected
Therapy.
with you on Twitter
okay,
yet.
Yeah, yeah, we're
Twitter,
a few,
Twitter. It's all modern.
Yeah,
a few little personas there. Twangy Guitar is one of them, and then
right.
Diesel Therapy, of course. So we have a conversation with us. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Just
Well, it's good to
daft
connect
crack,
with the
yeah.
people at home, isn't it? So,
Tell us where all the good vinyl shops are near you, and we'll come and have a troll through them and all the rest of it. So,
sounds great.
and Facebook, of course. Facebook,
Well, that's another one. That's another good way of connecting with people. And is it just Diesel Therapy on Facebook? Or?
Facebook/Diesel Therapy. Yeah.
Well, there we go. I think we're going to wrap up the show today, Danny boy. And I'd like to thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Steve.
It's been
Thanks.
great crack. I love hearing the music. It's always great fun. Cooking in the kitchen, DC, coast to coast, Boomchang Records coming from the UK, the northeast of England in the UK. And we'll catch you on the next time that we do the next band. And I'm looking forward to it. Bye.